Yasodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvāsadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Śrī Advaita Gadadhara Śrīvāsadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Lalita Visakha, Jaya Radhesa, Lalita Visakha, Jaya Radhesa. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupada, Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Ashtadharasata. Śrī Śukadeva Gosvāmī Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Iskan Founderacharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Ashtadharasata. श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत गौड़ी वैष्णव वृंद की जय, नवाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौकपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय, श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय, श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय, श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगा देवी जमुना देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय, श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय, श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय, श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर ललिता विशाखा देवी की जय, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिके। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुलङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणे श्रीपरमानन्दमाधवम्। So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 61. Lord Balaram slays Rukmi. So this chapter lists Lord Sri Krishna's sons, grandsons and other progeny. It also describes how Lord Balaram killed Rukmi at Aniruddha's marriage ceremony, and how Lord Kṛṣṇa arranged for his sons and daughters to be married. Not understanding the full truth about Sri Krishna, each of his wives thought that since he remained constantly in her palace, she must be his favorite wife. They were all entranced by the Lord's beauty and his loving conversations with them. But they could not agitate his mind with the charming gestures of their eyebrows or by any other means. Having attained as their husband, Lord Kṛṣṇa, whom even demigods like Brahma find it difficult to know in truth, the Lord's queens are always eager to associate with him. Thus, although each of them had millions of maidservants, they would personally render him menial service. Each of Lord Kṛṣṇa's wives had 10 sons, who in turn each fathered many sons and grandsons. In the womb of Rukmi's daughter Rukmavati, Pradyumna fathered Aniruddha. Though Sri Krishna had disrespected Rukmi to please his sister Rukmi, To please his sister, Rukmi gave his daughter in marriage to Pradyumna and his granddaughter to Aniruddha. Bali, the son of Kritavarma, married Rukmi's daughter Charumati. At Aniruddha's wedding, Lord Baldev, Śrī Kṛṣṇa and other Yadavas went to Rukmi's palace in the city of Bhojakata. After the ceremony, Rukmi challenged Lord Balaram to a game of dice. In the first match, Rukmi defeated Baldev, whereupon the king of Kalinga laughed at the Lord, displaying all his teeth. Lord Baldev won the next match, but Rukmi refused to concede defeat. A voice then spoke from the sky, announcing that Baldev had in fact won. But Rukmi, encouraged by the wicked kings, offended Lord Baldev by saying that while he was certainly expert at tending cows, he knew nothing of playing dice. Thus insulted, Lord Baldev angrily struck Rukmi dead with his club. The king of Kalinga tried to flee, but Lord Baldev seized him and knocked out all his teeth. Then the other offensive kings, their arms, thighs, and heads wounded by Baldev's blows, fled in all directions, bleeding profusely. Śrī Kṛṣṇa expressed neither approval nor disapproval of his brother-in-law's death, fearing he would jeopardize his loving ties with either Rukmini or Baldev. Lord Baldev and the other Yadavas then seated Aniruddha and his bride on a fine chariot, and they all set off for Dwaraka. So now we'll be reading text 1 to 3. These are the verses for today. श्री-शुका uvāca eka-ekaśaḥ kṛṣṇasya putrān daśa-daśābaāḥ ajījanann anavamān pituḥ sarvātma-sampadā. Śukadeva Gosvāmī said, each of Lord Kṛṣṇa's wives gave birth to 10 sons who were not less than their father, having all his personal opulence. Purport. Lord Kṛṣṇa had 16,108 wives, and thus this verse indicates that the Lord begot 161,080 sons. Text 2. Grihādana-pagam bhiksha rājaputro-च्युtam sthitam preshtam nyamam sata svangsam na tattva vidastriya. Translation. Because each of these princes saw that Lord Achyuta never left her palace, each thought herself the Lord's favorite. These women did not understand the full truth about him. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur notes that Lord Kṛṣṇa would leave the palaces only with the permission of his wives, and thus each one considered herself his favorite. Text 3. चारु अब्ज कोश बदना यत बाहु नेत्र चारुब्ज कोश बदना यत बाहु नेत्र सप्रेम हास रस वीक्षित बल्गु जल्पै सप्रेम हास रस वीक्षित बल्गु जल्पै सम्मोहिता भगवतो न मनो विजेतुम् सम्मोहिता भगवतो न मनो विजेतुम् स्वै विभ्रमै समसकन् वनिता विभुम्ना स्वैर्विभ्रमै समसकन् वनिता विभुम्ना Please chant. The last verse you can chant. चारुब्ज कोश बदना यत बाहु नेत्र सरस वीक्षित बल्गु जल्पै सम्मोहिता भगवतो न मनो विजेतुम् स्वैर्विभ्रमै समसकन् वनिता विभुम्ना चारुब्ज कोश बदना यत बाहु नेत्र सप्रेम हास रस वीक्षित बल्गु जल्पै सम्मोहिता भगवतो न मनो विजेतुम् स्वैर्विभ्रमै समसकन् वनिता विभुम्ना माताजी चारुब्ज कोश बदना यत बाहु नेत्र सप्रेम हास रस वीक्षित बल्गु जल्पै सम्मोहिता भगवतो न मनो विजेतुम् स्वैर्विभ्रमै समसकन् वनिता विभुम्ना चारु beautiful abja of a lotus kosha like the whirl badana by his face ayata extended bahu by his arms netra and eyes saprema loving hasa of laughter rasa in the mood bhikshita by his glances balgu attractive jalpai and by his conversations sammohita totally bewildered bhagavata of the Supreme Lord, na, not, mana, the mind, vijayatum, to conquer, swai, with their own, vibramai, allurements, Samasakan were able, Vanita, the women, Vibhumna, of the perfectly complete. Translation. The Supreme Lord's wives were fully enchanted by his lovely lotus-like face, his long arms and large eyes, his loving glances imbued with laughter, and his charming talks with them. But with all their charms, these ladies could not conquer the mind of the all-powerful Lord. Purport. The previous verse stated that Lord Kṛṣṇa's queens could not understand the truth of the Lord. This truth is explained in the present verse. The Lord is all-powerful, full in himself, with infinite opulence. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Śrī Gurave Namah Śrī Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Śrī Guru Śrī Utapādakamalam Śrī Gurun Vaishnavaṃ Śrī Rūpaṃ Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatha Nitantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Śrī Radha Kṛṣṇa Pādān Sagana Lalita Śrī Viṣākhā Nitāṃ He Krishna Karunā Sindhu Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanṣākalpatarubhyasya Kripāsindhubheva ca Patitānaṃ pāvanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah Namo Mahāvadānāya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnāya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratise Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvāsādhi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here, in these verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Kṛṣṇa's supreme beauty and opulence have been described. That how Lord Kṛṣṇa acted like any ordinary householder, and by acting in his householder life, he also set the example how the householder should live. As we know that Lord Kṛṣṇa, even though he is the Supreme Lord himself, he would get up early at Brahma Muhurta every day and meditate. And he was meditating because he was the Supreme Lord, so he was meditating on himself. But he was setting the example for the householders that how they should get up early in the morning at Brahma Muhurta and meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the beginning of the day of a householder. So Lord Kṛṣṇa was setting the example in this way. So here we see in the first verse of this chapter, it has been described that Lord Kṛṣṇa had 16,108 wives, and he had fathered 1,61,080 sons. So 10 children from each of those wives. And also, the acharyas have mentioned that each wife had also one daughter. 10 sons and one daughter. So anyway, so when the materialistic people, they hear this thing, and those who do not know the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they cannot believe these things, that how a person can marry 16,108 wives and produce children of 1,61,080 sons. So for the materialistic people, this is unbelievable. But for Kṛṣṇa, there is nothing to disbelieve. Because Lord Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is creating all these material universes just by his desire. He does not have to do anything. He does not have to work hard like the karmis to do anything. That's why it has been described that the Lord is called Satya Sankalpa. Whatever you desire, Sankalpa, whatever you desire, that will happen immediately. He doesn't have to do anything. Like we say that from the pores of Mahavishnu, unlimited universes are coming out. And when the same Mahavishnu glances upon the material nature, unlimited living entities are taking birth. So, unlimited living entities are appearing from the wombs of the material nature. So the Lord does not have to do anything, and it is not a surprising fact that Lord fathered so many children. So anyone who understands the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who will know Him in tattva, in truth, then the Lord's activities will be very easily understood by such a person. But those who have no faith on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, those who do not know the tattva or Him in truth, there will be difficulty for them to understand how the Lord acts in different ways. So here, the second verse says, Gruhad anapagam bhiksha Rajaputra achyutam sthitam prestang namansata swansam nata tattvavidastriya. So here, Śrī Śukadeva Gosvāmī explains that all these wives of Lord Kṛṣṇa, they were living in different palaces. Lord Kṛṣṇa had made different palaces for each of the queens. So they are living in different palaces, and the Lord was also present in each of those palaces. When the Lord got married with so many wives, like 16,100, and mostly they were the daughters of the kings, the Lord had expanded himself into so many forms to get them married. And also, when all these queens were living in different palaces, Lord was also simultaneously present in each of those palaces. But the queens did not know this thing. They were thinking that the Lord was staying in her palace only, because the Lord was not going out even without the permission of his wife. So each of these queens, they were thinking that she is the most favorite of the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa. But Śrī Śukadeva Gosvāmī says they actually did not know Lord Kṛṣṇa in truth. That's why they were thinking like this, that each one of them was thinking that she was the favorite of Lord Kṛṣṇa, because the Lord Kṛṣṇa was always there in her palace, and whenever he would go out, he would take permission from the wife. So the wife was thinking in this way, but Lord Kṛṣṇa was actually acting like any ordinary householder to please his wife. Though he doesn't have to take permission from his wife to go out, but the Lord was acting in this way just to please the wife, particular wife. So, in this way he was actually bewildering each one of them, those who were thinking that they were the favorite, each of them were the favorite of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here, that's why Śrī Śukadeva Gosvāmī says that actually these queens, they did not understand the Lord in truth. That how the same Lord, who is not going out, always staying in each of the queen's palace, and he would go out sometimes to other queen's palace on some invitation, for some occasion only. And that time he would take permission from that queen where he was staying. So from her he would take permission. That's why the queen was thinking in this way. But Śukadeva Gosvāmī says that all these queens, they did not know Kṛṣṇa in truth. That he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and according to his desire, he could expand himself into unlimited forms. So the queens did not know that this same Lord Kṛṣṇa was simultaneously present in each of these queens' palaces. So in this way, Lord Kṛṣṇa was actually bewildering them. Because everyone was thinking she was the favorite of Lord Kṛṣṇa. But Kṛṣṇa was actually not attracted. That will come in the third verse. That these queens, they actually could not attract Kṛṣṇa by their feminine gestures. Kṛṣṇa is Atma Rama, so he does not need anyone to become happy. In the material world, to become happy, we need someone else. But in spiritual world, specifically for Kṛṣṇa, he does not need anyone else to become happy. He enjoys happiness within himself. So, he is called Atma Ram, who realizes within himself. So these queens, it has been described in the third verse that Kṛṣṇa was so beautiful. Charu abja kosa vadana yata bahu netra. So Lord Kṛṣṇa's face was very beautiful, like the whole of a lotus. So, Charu abja kosa vadana ayata bahu netra. So his face was very beautiful, like a lotus whole, and his arms were very long, elongated arms. And then netra, and he had large eyes also. So in those eyes, Saprema hasa rasavikshita valgujalpai. And when Lord Kṛṣṇa was glancing upon the queens, so that glance was full of smiling glance. That's why, in that way, he was actually attracting the minds of the queens when he was looking towards them. And when he was speaking with them, joking with them, so he was also rasavikshita palgujalpai. So he was joking with them, and that joke was full of rasa mellows. So in that way, he was enticing the queens in so many ways, by talking with them, glancing at them, by his own beauty, he was attracting them. So in this way, he was actually attracting all these queens towards him. But sammohita bhagavato na mano vijetu. So although all these queens, they were attracted by the beautiful feature of Lord Kṛṣṇa, but they could not attract the mind of Kṛṣṇa by their own beauties. The queens were certainly very beautiful, and by their feminine gesture, even if they tried to attract the mind of Kṛṣṇa, but none of them was able to attract the mind of Kṛṣṇa. Instead, they themselves were attracted by the beauty of Kṛṣṇa. So, and how this is possible, it has been stated, Swai vibramai samasakan banita vibhumna. So here Śukadeva Gosvāmī uses the word banita. Vanita means those women who are attracted towards their husband with great affection. They have great affection towards their husband or lovers. So they are called Vanita. So all these queens, though they had greatest attraction towards Lord Kṛṣṇa, but they could not attract Krishna's mind towards them because Lord Kṛṣṇa was Vibhumna. Means he was Vibhu, he was all powerful with all opulences. That's why, as it has been stated, that no one can be equal to Krishna in all opulences, equal or greater than Krishna. Krishna's beauty, Krishna's all those 6 opulences. No one can be equal with all those opulences with Krishna, or one cannot surpass Krishna in all those opulences. So because he is Vibhu, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So naturally, these women or the queens, they were attracted towards Krishna. And Śrī Śukadeva Gosvāmī also explains that Vanita has another meaning. He states that Vanita means all these queens had no other shelter except Krishna. Krishna was their only goal of their life. That's why this Vanita word is used by Śrī Śukadeva Gosvāmī. So the queens, they could not attract Krishna's mind towards them, but they themselves were attracted towards Krishna's beauty, because Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this way, all these queens, they could not understand that how Lord Kṛṣṇa was acting like a henpecked husband in each of their palaces, but they could not attract Krishna's mind because he was Vibhu. He was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this way, Lord Kṛṣṇa was actually attracting the minds of the queens and also setting the examples for the grihasthas how to lead a family life and how to please the wives to remain peaceful in the. So, though Kṛṣṇa does not have to do this thing, he does not have to take permission from their wives to go, but he was doing so as if he has been controlled by them. So in this way, Kṛṣṇa was bewildering them by his actions. And the queens could not understand the truth of Kṛṣṇa, that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead who had expanded himself into 16,108 forms to live in each of those palaces. So we'll stop here. Comments or questions?
Kṛṣṇa expands himself, each of his expansions, they have their individuality, but they're still Kṛṣṇa. But also the living entity is also an expansion of Kṛṣṇa, and he gives us individuality. And why is it that some people, misuse that individuality and get deviated from the truth and come to this material world, and Krishna comes to show us how to behave properly, but then even his activities, if we imitate them, that's not good. So I guess all these things have to be guided through guru. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Naturally, for the conditioned souls, we take these lessons under the guidance of the spiritual master, that how, even studying the scriptures, that when we study the scriptures, we may not be able to understand the scriptures properly, or the instructions of the Lord properly. That's why we need a guru. Through the instruction of the guru, we can understand the scriptures. So though Lord Kṛṣṇa is setting the example in so many ways, but we cannot imitate Kṛṣṇa also. So to remain submissive to Kṛṣṇa's instruction, we have to take the help of the guru, so then we will be in proper path. Otherwise, if we start thinking that, Kṛṣṇa did this thing, I will also be doing the same thing, then we will be imitating Kṛṣṇa and then commit offenses.
Why do we, all the expansions of Vishnu Tattva, they don't misuse their independence, they always stay supreme. But there's inferior living entities. It seems like we're part of Krishna, so how we can be inferior?
We are separated expansions. Krishna's expansions, they are original expansions. But we are separated ansa, or expansions of Krishna. Eternally separated. And we are subject to Maya. Krishna's expansions are not subject to Maya. They are the controller of Maya, Krishna's expansions. But we, the living entities who are expansions of Krishna, we are subject to Maya.
Is that our Leela?
We have limited independence.
Is that our Leela to be influenced by Maya?
Illegal.
Leela, is that our
Leela.
Leela?
No, not Leela. We are subject to be influenced because we have not wanted to serve Krishna, and we wanted to enjoy without Krishna. And that is the reason why we have been separated. Because we did not want to serve Krishna or enjoy with Krishna. We wanted to enjoy without Krishna. That's why Krishna is giving us the opportunity to come to this material world, and Krishna is telling us, okay, you don't want to serve me, you want to enjoy separately, then try. Go to the material world and try yourself if you can enjoy in the material world. But Krishna has made this material world in such a way that dukkhalayam asasvatam. This material world is the place of misery and temporary. Anyone who will come here, no one will become happy in this material world. Even if we try so many ways, life after life. So, the separated energies, the living entities, by coming here, when they will realize that this place is not for enjoyment, then they will look towards Krishna. They would try to pray to Krishna to take us from this, release us from this material world and take us to his lotus feet. That is the reason why Krishna has created this material world and giving us the opportunity. If Krishna wanted, he would have forced us to serve him. But Krishna has given us limited independence. If Krishna would force us, then there will be no meaning of independence. That's why Krishna has given limited independence, so we are misutilizing that limited independence and suffering in this material world. Yeah.
I mean, Krishna can expand himself unlimitedly so he can come here and touch every one of us and we can all become liberated. Then there's no more material world. Why do we have to suffer here?
Krishna is coming. Krishna is coming to this material world in different incarnations. He is coming himself, and he is also sending his dear devotees to this material world. He is also giving the scriptures. So he is making all these arrangements for the living entities. So the living entities can get the opportunity to be associated with Krishna, his devotees, his instructions, the scriptures, his place of pastimes. So all these opportunities are created only for the living entities. So the living entities can get this opportunity to be liberated from this material world. This is the arrangement of Krishna. And it is up to us how we are utilizing this opportunity, how sincere we are. Okay? Oh, okay. And friends, no.
Hare Krishna, what is the reason why he done one daughter?
That is the reason. What is the reason?
the reason one daughter?
That I cannot say. Why one daughter? Maybe Panchod knows. Why one daughter?
You're in the house.
Maybe it's because the sons will rule and not the whispers.
Pardon?
Maybe it's because the sons will rule under his principles. So he wanted that he have more sons for that the planet know peace and prosperity.
I could not hear that. Yeah. Anyway, Lord Kṛṣṇa came to this material world to establish religion and kill the demoniac kings. Because that was the secondary reason. Primary reason is to protect the devotees. Secondary reason to re-establish religion and kill the demoniac kings. That's why Kṛṣṇa also invited all the demigods to take birth in the Yadu dynasty to help him in his mission. So the Yadu dynasty was actually a dynasty of warriors. And they all helped Kṛṣṇa to kill all those demoniac kings. So that may be the reason that there are many sons, those who are warriors, to fight with the demoniac kings. But just to balance, Lord Kṛṣṇa also did not neglect to give the daughter to their wives. Hare Krishna. जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की गौर भक्त वृंद की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे।